So
They're knocking, yeah.
Ms. Mitchell is the petitioner on the three youngest children, right?
Correct.
Does she know how to turn on her audio?
I guess not. Let me call her.
I tell you what I'm going to do before you do that. I'm going to put her in. I'm going to put her in the breakout room and bring her right back. Sometimes that will.
Oh, it's like connecting to auto now.
Okay, there you go. So maybe she did find the switch or the
You got on.
tab or button or something. Sometimes it will say that forever,
No.
but it takes a minute, so we'll give it some time. Mr. Reynolds, do me a favor and take your hat. Both of you gentlemen, your hats on, and we're in a courtroom. You can't wear hats in the court. Okay.
I can hear now.
So give me 1 second. I gotta take this call now.
That's fine. Go ahead. Mr. Reynolds, can you hear us now? Don't think so. These are adjudicatory hearings on private dependency cases filed Rice and Kamir and Kazir and in Zero, Randy, Jakaya, and Soraya. All these children share the same mother, Shira Mitchell, and the case was filed by the children's great-grandmother, Marion Mitchell, petitioner, and the other three children, and the older children, the petition was filed by their maternal grandmother, Adrienne Hubbard. Both petitioners are here. The mother's here. The father, Bryce, Brandy, Jakaya, and Soraya, Brandon Reynolds is here. The father of Kamir and Kazir, the two babies. Taj Taylor is here.
Yes, sir.
The Ms. Fincher from Henry County DFACS, who conducted the safety resource assessment at the court's request, is here. Ms. Crane is the appointed attorney for Mr. Reynolds, one of the putative fathers. I think they're putative fathers. We'll get to that in a second. And the attorney and guardian ad litem appointed for the children, Ms. Schrock, is present. Did you excuse the attendance of the children? I know they're everything from 5 months to 8, almost 9 years old.
Yes, I talked with their grandmother last week, and that was Miss Hubbard. There's two grandmothers, but I spoke to Miss Hubbard, and I did excuse the children.
Okay. All right. The mother was served with summons and process. Neither Mr. Reynolds nor Mr. Taylor was served with summons and process, but they obviously found out about the case, which is great because they're both here. And it's my understanding from the paperwork, and I want to confirm with you gentlemen, that neither one of you was married to the mother, Shira Mitchell, at the time any of these children were conceived or born or since. Is that correct, Mr. Reynolds? You're muted. I can't hear you. Unmute your mic.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor, you were not married to the mother either, correct?
Correct.
All right. And Ms. Mitchell, that you don't contend otherwise, do you? That you were not married to these fellows, were you?
No.
Okay. That the reason I ask you that, gentlemen, is that means that in Georgia, you're putative fathers. That means you're not their legal fathers. You have either one of you had paternity tests to prove that you are the biological father of the children?
No, sir.
Mr. Taylor?
No, sir. I had somebody from the defects office came to my house and took a urine sample and a hair snippet. I mean, is that do that?
That's
like
to see if you've been using drugs. That wasn't to that was
okay, cool.
But if they were done do a paternity test, they would take a long Q-tip and swab it across around in the back of your throat. And the epithelial cells off the back of your throat would be tested and compared to the child's same part of his body or her body, and determine whether there's a DNA match. The DNA is what they
Okay,
test
well,
nowadays. Years
didn't-
ago,
I
they used to
didn't- I
test the
didn't have
blood.
that.
Okay, but no, they will arrange to do that. Have you had that done, Mr. Reynolds?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. The significance of that in a case like this in Georgia is that a putative father does not have a claim for custody or visitation with their child until such time as they legitimate the child and have the court declare them to be the legitimate biological father, and that it's in the best interest that they be made a legal father of the children. Okay?
Okay.
So, Mr. Reynolds, you had applied for a court-appointed lawyer, and we provided one for you. You can consult with Ms. Crane further about that. I have had, and there's no judgment here. I have had biological fathers who said, no, they weren't interested in doing that. And that's fine. But most of them do, but that's for you to decide after you consult with your attorney. I don't see, we are shorthanded on lawyers to represent people in these cases. And mom nor Mr. Taylor applied for a lawyer, but depending on what we talk about today, they very well may need a lawyer. And I don't know of any reason why the two putative fathers could share Mr. Crane, because they're not fighting over the same children. But anyway, we can be thinking about that, Ms. Crane. Ms. Mitchell, do you want a lawyer to represent you? A lot of times parents and grandparents have come into these cases and they have worked something out and they've agreed to something and they want me to approve it. And sometimes they don't want a lawyer and they may not need a lawyer. So, Ms. Mitchell,
Yes,
have you worked out something with your grandmother and your great grandmother about the kids living with them temporarily while you
yes,
get healthy?
yes, I
Okay.
agree.
Are you back at home with Miss Hubbard now?
Yes,
Okay. Are you getting mental health counseling and treatment?
I have to find another one, but I was at Peachford Institution and I signed myself in and they gave me the right medication, so I'm doing a lot better now.
That's good. That was going to be my next question. Are you taking the medication like the doctor told you to take it?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Gentlemen, do you have any objections to the grandmother and great grandmother temporarily taking care of the kids? Mr. Reynolds?
No, Your Honor. I would just like to inform that I would like to get custody, but they're in great hands, and I appreciate what the grandmothers did.
All right. So what we can do is, if everybody's, let me ask Ms. Taylor before I say this, and I don't have to say it but once. Are you in agreement with that, Mr. Taylor, that they stay temporary, your two babies stay temporarily with Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, sir. I'm cool with it, just as long as I get to see them from time to
Okay.
time. Or whenever I get to see them.
Have you gentlemen been seeing the kids since this was filed back in let's see, back in April? So we're going on 2 months since it was filed.
I probably seen my two sons, Kamer and Kaiser, like one time, I think, like 2 months ago. That was it.
Okay, well, have they said you can't see them anymore, or you just have been busy? Have they been busy or what?
I have no idea. I contact them and I try to see them, try to see if I can come to wherever closer to see them. But
Do they say
I
you
mean-
can't come?
no, they didn't say that, but I get no response. So
Okay, all right. Okay, how about you, Mr. Reynolds? Have you seen your kids?
Yes, Your Honor. I actually had them for spring break. They kept it together. What was going on with Miss Mitchell,
Okay.
and
Now I've
I
got
was
you.
doing at late notice. But yes, I do. I have been seeing them.
Mr. Reynolds, I have you at 9:50.
Correct, and I will be moving there soon.
You are moving?
Yes, I'll be moving there in the next 2 months.
Okay, well, when you do, please let everybody know. Let me know, let your lawyer know, when I say me, the court, and let Ms. Hubbard and Ms. Mitchell know, okay?
Yes.
Now, what I can do is, this is just a suggestion. I'm not telling you you have to do it this way. Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Reynolds, you may, if you want a minute to talk to your lawyer privately, after I suggest something that we can do, is place temporary custody of the children with the two petitioners, the grandmother and great grandmother. And we come back in a week, in 30 days, roughly 30 days, and give the guardian ad litem an opportunity to prepare proposed case plans for the two dads. Mr. Reynolds, you said you want to raise yours. I don't know that Mr. Taylor specifically said that. Are you interested at some time in possibly the kids coming to live with you full time, or at least time shared?
Not as of now. I'm not gonna lie, not of now. They can't come stay with me full time, but if I can see them here and there, they need help. They need to do something. They need to drop them off to get watched. Then I'm available at this moment. But as them staying with me, I don't have a place to stay as my own. So
I have 3 send you mail.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the same goes for you. If you change that address, because we send things periodically to you, and if we don't have your current address, it's going somewhere else and wasting whatever a stamp costs, 54 cents or whatever. So please keep everybody posted as your address. But what I was getting at is provide by consent that you two gentlemen, the sheriff didn't come hand you any papers because we didn't have an address for you, but you found out about court.
The sheriff came and handed me a paper.
He did?
Hand me papers.
Okay,
Yes,
well, I don't know how that happened because
I signed for him and everything. I got the paperwork, but I got to go back to the house.
I do have the paperwork. Okay, so Mr. Reynolds, I need to address you. Will you waive that sheriff's service since you know about it and you've come to court and you're involved in the case? So we don't have to send the sheriff?
No, because I'm working on, I'm already got legitimize and everything set up. I would like
Mr. Reynolds, the court would like to know if you're going to require the sheriff to come serve you now that you already know. And we're going to say no. Let's go ahead and let them proceed instead of having to serve you.
Okay.
We'll waive service, Your Honor.
Great, thank you. So what I'm proposing that we do is we place temporary custody of the 6 children, 3 with Ms. Mitchell and 3 with Ms. Hubbard. And we provide that the guardian ad litem will prepare a case plan, which is an outline of the things that each of you dads need to do to seek custody of your child. Okay, the first thing would be to legitimate your children and then go from there. If the safety resource assessment identified any issues about drug use or lack of stable housing or no income or something like that, then those would be things that would be in the case plan to address. Neither one of you.
Can I have a DNA test?
Sure, we're going to get both of you to get DNA tests.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Fincher, your department will arrange for that, won't you? Ms. Fincher?
Yes, we can, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Obviously, if it comes back you're not the daddy, then we'll be saying so long, okay?
Right.
You won't be in the case anymore. But that does happen sometimes, but not very often.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what I want you to do is, does everybody get along? I don't sense that there's a problem. Mr. Taylor said he didn't get a call back about wanting to visit, but can these gentlemen come to your houses and see the kids there at your house?
I would rather not go to their house. I would rather meet them somewhere in public. I would not rather go to their house to meet them. See the kids.
So that's the issue with Mr. Taylor. We're not going to. He had to provide transportation. I'm not providing transportation, and I'm not going to meet him anywhere.
Well, those kids aren't with you, are they?
No, but sometimes on the weekend they might come over.
Okay. Well, I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the guardian ad litem a chance to get everybody's position and make some suggestions to you. And when we come back for this hearing in 30 days, I'm going to make the decision about visits. Okay. So, there's no way I can take every consideration of every person. So, but as a general rule, even unlegitimated dads get to see their kids at some point if they have any relationship with the kids. So I understand we don't have access to a transportation service like defect judges when kids
Your
are
Honor,
in
can the
care.
department be heard?
Do what?
Can the department be heard? Can I ask something? So we do have concerns for Mr. Taylor. He did complete his drug screening and he was positive. So we would have concerns for moving forward with any unsupervised.
Yeah, they would only be
I mean, at the
supervised.
end of the day, no disrespect, they can keep the kids. I mean, I can have supervised visits. At the end of the day, I don't even want to fight with this no more. Until I get straight with myself, then I try to get them. But right now, they're absolutely fine with them. They are in good hands. They good and they straight. I understand my lifestyle, but at the end of the day, it's cool. All I do is just ask to see them and talk to them. I mean, at the end of the day, they good. Period. They good until I get straight.
Well, taking that into account, Ms. Schrock will make some suggestions about how we can resolve that. We're only talking about temporarily until we find out, number one, that are you biologically the father? If you're not, then all that will be moot.
Well, how long would that take?
Well, it depends on how soon they can hook up with you and get the samples from the child and you to a lab. It usually takes less than a month. Wouldn't you say, Ms. Fincher?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So if you're available when they call and have the appointment with the lab technician who takes the swab, the kid, they know where the kid is, so they can get the swab from the two children very quickly. And
Yes, sir.
it should be done by the time we come back on July the 11th to talk about the case plan.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, just so the guardian ad litem is aware, I did have the opportunity to speak with Mr. Reynolds this afternoon. I was not aware of the fact that there were 6 children involved here. I had only been provided information as to 3 children. But Mr. Reynolds and I have figured that out since then. We will be moving to legitimate the children within the next 30 days. And he does intend to move for temporary custody and placement of the children. Mr. Taylor, I'm more than happy to work with you too. I can contact you. We can get you legitimate. So we'll handle that. The testing.
So y'all only putting 2 of the kids on me, right?
Sir,
Yes, 2 of the children are allegedly yours, Kamir and Kazir, the 2 babies, and the other 4 are all. Well, let me ask Mom to confirm that. That's what the grandparents put in the paperwork, that Brandon is the dad of Bryce, Brandy, Jekiah, and some, I can't read my handwriting. So Mr. Reynolds is the father of those 4 children, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Taylor is the father of Kamir and Kazir, the little babies.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you're right, Mr. Taylor. It's just the 2 are allegedly yours and 4 and so, Mr. Reynolds, you didn't know you had 4?
yes, sir.
I knew I had 4.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Reynolds is well aware that he has 4 children. I was not aware that this case involved 6 children because I only got half of the file.
And they okay.
So I've got it figured out now, and I know who we're legitimating, and I know who goes with who, and we will get that filed, Your Honor. Alyssa.
So in my
we'll
paperwork,
get that.
why did it claim I had 3 of them in my paperwork?
Sir, they don't.
You were.
I'll
It
explain
does.
it to you later.
It say Bryce, Kamir, and Kaiser in my paperwork. That's who I'm
Yeah,
fighting
sir,
for.
sir,
Can I
they're
say
not,
something?
they're not claiming the child is yours. I'll explain it to you later.
I'm just
They
asking
had-
the question. That's all I was asking. Just a
They have both you and Mr. Reynolds listed as fathers of the 3 kids. The reason they're divided up is the 2 grandmothers felt like they needed to take part of them. They couldn't handle all 6 in one house. So Ms. Mitchell has your 2 and the youngest of the Reynolds. Okay, but you're not alleged to be the father of the youngest Reynolds or the older 3 Reynolds. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
That's the
we're
question.
giving Ms. Schrock a little homework to do. and we'll come back in 30 days. And I hope y'all will have worked all this out yourselves. And if you haven't, I will work out what doesn't get worked out. But we're going to place temporary custody as alleged, as asked for in the petitions. And y'all are to exercise. If you said you would just wait, and that's fine, Mr. Taylor, if you still do that. If you want some kind of supervised visit or talk over the phone, you can work that out. And but we'll address a more definite visitation schedule if y'all don't work it out with Mr. Reynolds. Sounds like you've got things worked out with temporary custodians, and y'all can continue to do that. Does the department have any concerns about Mr. Reynolds and his visits?
No, Your Honor, we weren't able to assess him. He refused drug screening, and he didn't complete the background checks. So
He'll be supervised. His visits will be supervised until he screens. So can you still drug screen him?
Your Honor, can I ask a question?
Sure. I don't know who's asking me the question, but
This Miss Mitchell, the great grandmother, the grandmother of Shara.
okay.
I just wanted to know if she wanted to keep her own kids, how do she need to go about that? Do she need an appointed lawyer herself or what?
Well, that's what I asked her way back, and she never answered me, and I didn't come back.
Oh,
I didn't hear you say that.
yes, I'm planning on getting my kids back since I'm doing.
We're going to, the case plan, we're talking about case plans. I've been talking about case plans for them, but we're going to have a case plan for you too. A step,
Okay.
to
So
work
can
on
I ask
mental
a
health,
question too?
get housing and all that. Sir?
Can I ask a question? How was I able for defects to come to my house and get a, you know what I'm saying, like hair samples and stuff like that for me, but not him? Like how?
I don't
I'm
think they
confused.
were able, I don't know, the paperwork that I have, that they didn't know where either one of you were. So I don't know how you were both found, but there'll be a consequence for that. But I'm glad you cooperated. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
They said he refused.
That's what I heard just now. Okay, but I'm sure that was a misunderstanding and he's going to help with that. Right, Mr. Reynolds?
Yes,
Okay,
Your Honor.
that'll take care of it. Y'all got a lot of work to do, and I've got a lot of work to do when we come back on July the 11th. I'm going to mail the addresses that I confirmed with everybody. I'm going to mail this notice. It tells you when the date is. Do y'all want to come back to the courthouse in person, or do you want to do it on Zoom like we did today?
It's up to y'all. Whatever better. We can Zoom it.
Zoom is good for me because the kids are here. It's
Okay,
summer break, so the kids are at home.
does Zoom work for everybody? It works.
No. So let me object. I'd rather have a court meeting so I can see my kids, so they can be in the courtroom at least, so I can, you know what I'm
Well,
saying. At
kids
least
don't
get the-
always come to court.
No,
Can
and the
I mean,
purpose,
they can come
Infants-
around the court, like if I go outside after court and see them like in the car or something. I mean,
Infants generally do
Who's gonna
not.
be in the car with them?
Well,
I mean,
we're going to do it on Zoom, and
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can I ask real quickly before you wrap up? So the paperwork that I received that was filled out by the petitioners, they claim to not have any information on Mr. Taylor, no address, no phone number, no nothing. Could I get some way to contact him if I'm going to represent him?
okay, give me 1 second, because if they didn't have no way to contact me, I would have never got these papers in the mail. So give me 1 second.
it was learned in the course of something, because we have an address in our file. We have an
Exactly.
email address for him, and which he probably gave us. And
No, I didn't give it to y'all. I guess one of her family members gave it to y'all. But
maybe
I definitely have the
DFAX.
paperwork.
Your Honor, I was able to locate him.
I definitely have the paperwork.
Okay,
I'm just asking for a phone number.
we appreciate your cooperation, Mr. Taylor. And
No problem, sir. Because I feel like it's really like betraying me, because if y'all can do all this to me, how y'all can't find him, and he been seeing his kids and I haven't been seeing mine. Come
Well,
on. You feel what I'm saying?
Do you ask to come pick your kids up?
I've been do I not text y'all on Facebook?
No,
Do I not text y'all number or anything and try to get in contact with y'all?
no. This is Ms. Hubbard, you're way out of line. Don't you do that again. You're not to talk to the other parties. You only talk to the court. That goes for everybody. Okay, y'all can go on your own time and argue all you want, but you're not going to do it in court. It's inappropriate. And next time we come back, if it happens, I'm going to kick you off the Zoom and you won't be in the hearing. Understood? So everybody behave like you know how to behave.
Understood.
All right.
Sent the entire file to Ms.
Ms. Crane, somebody, either Robin or Jessica, somebody has sent you the entire file scanned, and it will have that. I cannot remember. I know initially they said they didn't know where they were, but we got addresses somehow, and I don't know whether Ms. Fincher got them, locating the dads, because we had their names. But
yes, Your Honor, the problem is I'm looking at the file and there's no phone number for Mr. Taylor. I just want to be able to call
I know,
him.
sure.
But if he doesn't want to give the number,
If he doesn't want to
that's-
give it out on
that's
here, give him.
I can
you
give my phone number. I don't have a problem with that.
Or give him your email address, and Mr. Taylor will email you his phone number, I'm sure.
All right, thank you, sir. I'll send you an email.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, and then she's gonna want you to send back your phone number. Sometimes phone's easiest to get in touch with people, okay? All right.
Okay, no problem.
Thank y'all for your time and cooperation, and I will be seeing y'all on July the 11th, okay?
All
And
right,
Ms.
thank
Rock,
you.
if you'll prepare me a brief order of what we've done and resetting for the case plan to be prepared by yours truly.
What time you're?
Yes, sir. And the case
o'clock?
plans are just for both of the putative fathers,
And
correct?
for the mother, and for the
And for
mother,
the mother, okay.
okay?
So within them 30 days, how would I be able to take a DNA test for them within them 30 days?
Ms. Fincher will be in touch with you. She has your
Okay.
contact information, and a lab person either will meet you somewhere or they will have you come to their office in McDonough to meet with a lab person who will do that swab I told you about. You have to have a picture, both of you. You got to have a picture ID because they have to make sure who you say you are before they do it. Because believe it or not, people have sent substitutes.
Yes, sir.
You know, they
absolutely
make sure of that. So bring picture ID and bring yourself, and it doesn't take 5 minutes, does it, Ms. Fincher?
It doesn't take long, but just so the other parties know, the children will also have to come in at some point in time.
Yeah, and the child doesn't have to be there at the same time either. So don't freak out if the kid isn't there. They frequently take the samples, and they don't generally take samples from the mother anymore because it's basically a comparison between the putative dad and the child. So I'm hoping we'll have all that result ready when we come back in 30 days. Okay? Y'all
What
take
time?
care.
I'd like to say something.
Sir?
Now, I'd just like to say something. I have no problem with the other side of the family. I appreciate that, and now they got my full cooperation on anything. I know what I'm trying to do, but I have no problem with them
Okay.
at all.
Thank y'all. I think
What time on July 11th, Your Honor?
3 o'clock.
Thank you.
Okay, would the grandparents, would I have to be back on?
Yes, ma'am.
July?
If you're a petitioner, you have to be back.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
So
y'all.
we'll get
All
something
right,
else
y'all
in
have a good day.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Ma'am, what was your last question?
We get something else in there, or we're gonna use the same meeting ID and password.
We'll send you a new one. It won't be this one.